All right, so thank you for tuning in to Chomping at the Bit. I am Kyle Edwards, of course, and this episode going to talk about the Red Sox. They've had a pretty eventful year. Kind of talk about the ups and downs of all of that. Talk about the wild card game they have with the Yankees, as well as their series with the Rays. Kind of give you my opinion on where that series stands, who has the advantage, and who I think will ultimately win that series. So, if you are new here, appreciate you stopping by. Quickly let you know, I am a Red Sox fan, so that's why I'm going to talk about them on this episode. Originally from Boston, so my team growing up, still follow them. Live in Atlanta, so I do watch Atlanta teams. I may touch on the Braves a little bit in this episode, but my main focus is on the Red Sox because I think they've been fascinating this year. I mean, the reaction to them has been all over the place. You know, after the first week, people were down on them. They thought it was going to be another rough year like last year in their shortened season. Then they turned it on. People thought they were going to be world beaters and just, you know, moonwalk their way through the year. Then they hit struggles, and those struggles got real deep. You know, get to the trade deadline. Some people thought they weren't active enough, so people were just giving up on them and thought the organization had given up on this team and was playing for next year. Then they slumped a little more coming out of the trade deadline. Slump some more, play a little better, slump, play better, slump. Then they deal with COVID. Somehow they kept their head above water during their little COVID stint that went through the team. Then by the end of the year, they played well enough to get in. So that was the quick, 2-minute rundown on their season. Main focus is on the wild card series with the Rays. So just wanted to get through that real quickly. So now they get into the wild card game with the Yankees after there was a real possibility that they were going to ultimately miss the playoffs. It could have been the team like Toronto in there instead of them or the Mariners. But they held on to their spot, end up leaping over the Yankees last couple of days, host the wild card game. And then going into the game, there was Garrett Cole on the mound. And the Red Sox had Eovaldi, yes, who's been their ace all year. May be the team's most valuable player. I mean, he made it through the whole year healthy, exceeded all expectations, and now he was ready to go toe-to-toe against Garrett Cole, the big money man that the Yankees brought in. With the top of that lineup, Rizzo, Judge, Stanton, Gallo, and Eovaldi was great. Went 5 1/3 innings. Cora pulled him. He could have went longer, but we know come postseason time, Cora's in a different mentality. You know, he'd rather pull guys a little too soon than to leave them out there and possibly have them falter. So, kind of a quick hook, but ultimately didn't cost them. Because to back him up, they brought in Brazier, who missed a lot of the year, but he's become really reliable since he came back. They used who else did they use in that game? Did they use Whitlock? Might have been Robles, who's been an unsung hero late in the year. And Cole struggled again, you know, for the big money that the Yankees are paying him. He hasn't been that dominant against the Red Sox, and we know for the Yankee fan, That's the most important thing, is being able to beat the Red Sox. Red Sox had gotten to them a couple times in the regular season. They got to them the wild card game. Bogarts, hits the 2-run homer early. Crowd's into it. They're going nuts. Yankees brought Bucky Dent to the ballpark, I guess to give him some good luck. Didn't work. Red Sox get out to a good start. Schwarber follows it up, gets them the 3-run lead early. And that was it for Cole. Cole went 2 innings. Boone had to pull him because he clearly didn't have what it took to get the Red Sox out consistently. It looked like they were just going to put up more runs on him. I know the camera caught him saying, "I'm out." So I think when I first saw it, I saw it when I was watching the game live. I mean, I thought he was saying, like, "I'm out," like, "I'm done." Like Boone was just going out there to talk to him, and he was like, "No, I'm done." I think that's how it was interpreted at first. But after thinking about it for a little bit, I think all that happened was Boone went out there, told him, "I'm pulling you," and he was just like, "I'm out." So, it is what it is. But they got Cole out. Get to the bullpen, where I think most people said the Yankees had the advantage. Not so much in this game, because the Red Sox were able to put up 3 more runs. The Yankees got a couple of runs late, but the Red Sox bullpen was great, finishing off a great start by Eovaldi. Key was, of course, keeping that top 4 from the Yankees away from doing a lot of damage. I mean, Stanton did some work. He was like the only one who showed up. We had a couple that hit off the Green Monster that could have been gone other ballparks. And biggest play, it was 3-1. Yeah, I think it was 3-1. Stan hit the ball deep left center off the Green Monster. It bounced a little bit away from, was it Verdugo? Yeah, because Verdugo was in the left. He tracked the ball down, bounced away from him. Kike Hernandez was right there, relayed it to Xander, who then threw it to Plawecki, put the tag on Judge. So stopped the run from scoring, gave them their second out with Stanton standing on second. Ultimately, that was a play that really did the Yankees in, because when Stanton hit it, they thought they were going to be tied at 3, and then it turned out they didn't even score at all. So that was kind of, at least it seemed like, mentally or emotionally, that was a spot where they thought they'd be able to get back into the game. Didn't happen, and ultimately they lost 6-2. So at least what I noticed was, as long as the pitching staff could keep these lineups off the bases with walks and stuff like that, they're fine. Because offensively, they're good enough. For the most part, on a given night, you'll get, what you'll get from Devers, Bogarts. They're pretty consistent. Renfro's up and down. Kike's up and down, although it looks like he's on the up right now. Vasquez up and down. So, getting that win over the Yankees, it, definitely made the season a success to me. I know coming into the year, the Red Sox were scheduled to win, I think, 80 and a half games. They ended up winning 92. 92 and 70 is what they went. So, 12 win difference. The pitching staff, at times was held together by, duct tape and in dreams. First, I guess, season back from Tommy John for Chris Sale. So didn't know what you were going to get from him. You have Houck, who's the young guy who I guess was basically the fifth starter throughout the year. Wasn't going deep into games. So it's kind of questioning like what would be his role going forward. Is it something where they might have to hold him out for another year and really get him ready to be a starter? But yeah, so he's now in the bullpen, and he's looking good. They had Garrett Richards, who was a starter all year, struggled throughout the year. He's now a reliever, although I think he's hurt now, so he's off the playoff roster, at least for this round, I think. You had Eduardo Rodriguez, who's in a contract year, struggled with consistency, went through stretches where his control was all over the place. He was, in terms of wins, he was fine, I guess, but definitely seems like he's probably cost himself some money in free agency. But he had some key performances late in the year, but in terms of playoffs, he's probably going to be your I don't know what to call it, but like, oh crap, starter couldn't make it past this point. Get Erod in there to bridge the gap between them and the late setup closer guys. Who else? Like I said, Sale coming back on Tommy John. Didn't see him till when did Sale start? Did he come like middle? Well, after the trade deadline, Sale came in. Yeah, I remember that. Started off pretty good. Started tailing off, which kind of was expected after Tommy John. But as you can see, there's a lot of uncertainty in the pitching staff. They were able to navigate all that, get to 92 wins. Offense was pretty stable all year. But, like I said, 80.5 wins to start with. They were looking at maybe finishing fourth in the division, managed to finish second. And now that they've gotten past the Yankees, I think this team really was confident going into the series with the Rays. I believe a couple of their highest output games from the year were against the Rays, so they're very familiar with each other. Rays are coming off a 100-win season, first one in their franchise history. So I think on paper looked like not necessarily a sweep for the Rays, maybe 4-game win, like 3-1. Because remember, this series is best of 5 after the wild card's one and done. First game, I guess, kind of went the way most people thought. Red Sox were able to, put some balls in play. Rays happened to seem to be in all those places to make outs. The offense got, the Rays offense, I will say, put up some runs. And then their pitching took over and minimized the Red Sox lineup. Like I said, few of the guys hit balls well, but right at Rays players. So, that could have been discouraging. The Red Sox mentality could have been, hey, playing with house money, beat the Yankees, probably further than most people thought. Good. They did what I guess the Red Sox teams had done throughout the year, where if they needed to score runs late to win a game, they did that. If they went through a little stretch where maybe they lost a game or two, they'd bounce back with a great game and, get a needed win before a 2-game losing streak turned into like a 6-game losing streak. Late in the year, we weren't seeing that. We were seeing pitchers frequently silencing the offense. Red Sox pitchers struggling with control and losing games they shouldn't have, all that. So game 2 comes about. Red Sox need it because you don't want to go down 0-2, even though the next 2 are in Boston, but you're on the brink of elimination. You just want to split with Tampa Bay. Second game they go there, they're down there, going up against like Shane Boz or something. Never heard of him. He was the game 2 starter for the Rays. And the Red Sox offense explodes for 14 runs, 20 hits. I mean, it could have been worse because Kiermaier made a few plays in the outfield that saved runs, definitely. We saw Hernandez go 5 for 6, home run. JD Martinez went like 4 for 5, home run, bad ankle and all. Devers, some thought he had like a forearm injury or something. Then we heard Big Papi, David Ortiz, talked to him, told him not to do so much of the plate. Don't have to swing for the fences on each swing. You can just put the ball in play, get on base, all that. He had a great game. And from watching game 2, noticed like there could be a momentum shift in the series where Red Sox hitters were very comfortable up at the plate against Rays pitching, which, I mean, is not the best thing for the Rays, of course. And like I said, their Sale went 1 inning in the second game. Houck came in, went 5 innings. It was just electric. I believe they said like his last 9 2/3 innings, he's had perfect across the board. So no walks, no hits, none of that. And he just looked like it seemed like he'd finally, I guess, realized this stuff. And yeah, just made a name for himself. Yeah, like I said, Red Sox offense erupts, 14 runs. Series is now tied at 1. But now looking forward, because now the next 2 games are in Boston, where, I mean, of course the Red Sox are better at home than on the road. You're going to get that Fenway crowd. Now it's going to be on the Rays, really trying to, bring up the pressure on them. The Red Sox hit at home. Just play better at home. See if we get those marathon uniforms, the I guess gold and blue uniforms. Like them a lot. They play pretty well in them, so wouldn't be surprised if they do play in those in the next game. But if the Red Sox are able to win this series, you look back at game 2 as the turning point in everything. I mean, even if they win it in 5 or whatever, the fact that they were able to bounce back so well from game 1, staring, I mean, not exactly elimination, but just staring a big hole in front of them, possibility of going down 0-2 in the series. And they just, I don't know, everything just clicked for them. And now looking at it going ahead, like I said, I love the fact that they split in Tampa Bay. That's the best case scenario for them. You go home, there's a chance you could sweep them. We'll sweep them at home and then win the series in 4. And be an upset of the Rays or whatever. Or the Rays do the same thing, split. You're going to a game 5 down in Tampa. And even then, you figure Red Sox experience would take over and maybe help them out there. But, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like watching game 2, Alex Cora seemed like he's gotten his swag back. The offense seems locked in now. Even when they made outs, they had good contact on the bat. But yeah, so I think if game 3, the Red Sox come out, play the same way as game 2, I did wonder with the off day in between the 2 games, would that affect anything? And we'll just play this out. Say that the Red Sox win Game 3. I think at that point, the Rays have a lot of young players on their team, a lot of inexperience in the postseason. If Red Sox go up 2-1 after the way the series started and the Red Sox then win 2 in a row, like I said, not saying the Rays would quit or anything, but the pressure may get to them and it may be too much. The flip side, Rays win Game 3. Pressure's on the Red Sox to win Game 4. But like I said, he's done well in those. They've done well in those situations. And Cora seems to be pushing all the right buttons again. So if it does happen that way, they'll take their chances in the Game 5 back down in Tampa Bay. Like I said, so they've already won a game down there. They're not going to be scared or anything. But Game 3 will be interesting. The Red Sox put up another performance where they run away with it. I think Game 4 gets easier for them and they finish it off. But I know the Rays, they don't have any quit in them. So I think looking forward, the Red Sox, I think, win this series in 5. And if they are able to do that, then making the American League Championship Series, that would be absolute gravy for the season. But they can't get ahead of themselves because you have Eovaldi going Game 3. Hopefully he pitches the same way he did in that Yankee wild card series. And they'll be fine. I guess just from this quick little postseason run, the addition of Schwarber looks a lot better than it did when they first made the acquisition. A lot of people liked the Schwarber move, but they would have preferred either a pitcher coming along with him or some. Red Sox fans wanted Rizzo over him, but he's been lights out in the postseason. He's come up with big hits, and I'd like to see him on the team next year. We'll have to see free agency what goes on there, but I really like the Red Sox chances in this series. Before the series started, I would have been over the moon if they just won one game. But now I think they've actually put a little fear in the Rays pitching, and I think they'll be able to score runs. So, I guess looking quickly around the rest of the playoffs, Dodgers, Giants, what's going on right now? Looks like that series is headed to 1-1. Giants got a big emotional win Game 1. Brandon Crawford went yard. They had Barry Bonds in the house and all that. So they had the quick 1-0 series lead. But it looks like the Dodgers are bouncing back here in Game 2 to even this series, go back to Dodger Stadium. So kind of in the same boat as the Red Sox. Can they finish it off there? Or will they be back for a Game 5 in San Francisco? Astros, White Sox. That series looks over. The Astros won Game 1. White Sox had a lead in Game 2. And then the Astros just erupted late and actually beat them handily. Would not be surprised if that ends on, I think, Sunday's Game 3 in that series. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends Sunday and it's a sweep. I just think the White Sox aren't ready yet. They had a lot of new guys and all that in that team. They have some young guys who've been there for a couple of years, but just haven't experienced postseason baseball. Astros are the veteran team in this matchup, of course, and I just think they're overwhelming the White Sox. So fully expect the Astros to move on there. Then the other series, of course, I'm paying attention to Braves, Brewers. the Brewers win. Was it game one? They won 2-1 or something. Got, of course, the hit of the game for them. Trying to think how you pronounce his last name. It's like Narvaez or something, hit a home run. I believe it was him. And then their pitching held off the Braves late, even scare in the ninth inning, where I think they had the tying run at third at the end of the game. Fast forward to game two. Braves get a gem pitching performance from Max Fried. It was that earlier today. They ended up getting the game 2 win. So now they're tied 1-1. I mean, the Brewers are, I guess they're like pitching heavy. They're relying on their pitching to win these games, and then for the offense to come up with timely hits to get a few runs across. I mean, the Braves. The Braves lineup is probably a little longer than the Brewers. I mean, this series is really a toss-up. I mean, I could be talked into either way, Brewers or Braves. I think the Braves get it done in 5. Not confident in that at all. But yeah, I think we're heading to a championship series of Red Sox Astros. Had that a few years ago. Great series. And then I think Braves Dodgers, which I believe was that the National League Championship Series last year? So be a chance for the Braves to get some revenge if they do make it past Milwaukee, but wouldn't be shocked either way. But yeah, back to the Red Sox just to finish this up. Yeah, I think the Red Sox get it done against the Rays and then set up a rematch with the Astros, who are a team on a mission where they're trying to get, I guess they're trying to distance themselves from the whole trash can thing and all that. Yeah, they want to, just want to become more relevant. So, yeah, I think that's my quick look at Major League Baseball, which I'll have to talk about it another day, because after this baseball season, then there's going to be collective bargaining agreement looming over the head. And could baseball be headed towards a work stoppage after all this? Which I think if they did that, I mean, they would be, I don't even know what that would do to their numbers, but that's for another day. So, thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked it. I don't think I've talked baseball a lot on here, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Just got to say, go Red Sox. I will be watching every game. And yeah, I think they get it done. Not going to say they're going World Series yet. I'll save that, but I fully expect them to beat the Rays. So by the next time you hear me talking baseball, Red Sox should be getting ready for the Astros in the American League Championship Series. I will call that right now. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Once again, new or returning, either way. Hit like, subscribe, follow the show wherever you're listening. There is a spot where you can rate the show and leave a review. Definitely do that. That would be great. Get some feedback on what you like, what you don't like, whatever. And I guess even if you don't like the show, you just happen to stumble upon it and you wanted to let me know what you thought of it, you can do the same. if you are allowed, leave a review or whatever. If not, you can go over to Twitter. I'm at Chompin' Podcast. Follow me there. Leave a message or whatever. It's cool. So, yeah. So with that, wrap this one up. And then next episode, let me see here. We'll be talking about hockey. Hockey season is right around the corner. I believe the season gets started Tuesday. So, talk a little hockey. About some of the changes you may not have noticed in the off season. And like I just talked about the Red Sox, I might talk about my Bruins for a little bit. So, that'll be the next episode you'll hear. So, thanks again. Be safe out there. God bless. Check you on the next episode. All right, I'm out.